someone see the sandwich boards that you got through here? Say thank you to Minus. Hi. The world doesn't need another brand. It's quite a lofty statement. I don't know whether I'm old or when I say that my grey matter is actually really kicked in and it doesn't matter now. So I kind of work out what I'm actually doing and am I doing the right thing. So in terms of this year, I mean, for people who create from brands who create kind of so-called neon signs, you kind of go to yourself and you go, shit, what is my real purpose and what am I doing what I'm doing? So I'm actually 45 this year. So, you know, I'm quite old. And you kind of go to reflection. I'm actually doing my own personal journey now, kind of understanding who I am, what I am. It's quite late, I know. But again, it actually helps in terms of what kind of work you actually put out there. And this statement has become quite a statement where I'm kind of living by. Mike. Can you hear me? Sorry. So what I'm going to do today is, our world has really become very cluttered. Okay? And my thought of this whole minimal thing is, you know, I've got my own take on it. Based on the fact that it is so cluttered, I want to do an exercise with you guys. What I want you to do is, all of you, is close your eyes. It's not a yoga class, I'm not going to make you do down dog and up dog, okay? What I want you to do is like basically close your eyes for a few seconds, and I want you not to think of logos and colors and typefaces. I just want you to think of nothing. Okay. Do people find that difficult to do? So my point here is, what I'm trying to get you, is that have you ever seen a great idea pounding on the door of a busy mind? And I think from a creative point of view, we are inundated with so much information and so much of thought, and we get briefs and we get kind of ideas and we're still busy. The fact is, it's the idea of actually feeling on the inside rather than looking on the outside. So what we always do is we're always looking on the outside for stuff. But the true sense of where good insight and good thought comes from actually comes from inside. And I think it's important as creative people, you know, we look for inspiration everywhere but from ourselves. And it's important that you actually look at what you learned, who you are. There's three things called intuition, intelligence, and intellect. So what I'm trying to do today is kind of, I know I'm not going to tell you how to design, I'm not going to tell you how to do creative work. I'm going to give you some of my insights of how I think and what I connect and how I put things together, what kind of moves me. This is the thing, you know, I think day-to-day you use it very well. It's almost, if you kind of use this here with every piece of work you do, okay, you guarantee to have a kind of checklist in your head to make sure, is the idea original and inspiring? Okay, is it exceptionally well executed? And is it relevant in the context? And I think it's so important as creative people if you can answer these questions. And I guarantee you, you would not go wrong. So what I'm going to do here is, again, it's not, you're going to see some of our work that we did, you're going to see some work that interests me, you're going to have this age-old discussion of digital's in now, guys, we are scared, you know, we don't know what we're doing anymore. That's not true. To me, a great idea, a great story, well told, will always be relevant. It will never go out of fashion. So I'm going to show you a piece of work here. To you that this looks like a lovely, beautiful piece of bag. But it's an amazing storytelling. It's the Covent Hotel in London. It's a 200-year hotel. What they've done there, they've taken one illustration, okay, and they've made this illustration into 200 years of a story. So digitally, what happens is, you can unveil the hotel in 200 years, but yet it's just a beautiful bag. So you're talking about one single thought here that can be so beautifully executed, but it's got so much of history and so much of storytelling to it. So in terms of, yes, we must make it beautiful. Yes, it must be wow, stand out. Does it have a great story? And I think those are the things that make things stand out. I was in India last year, and it was quite interesting to go to actually have a look at the Taj Mahal. And obviously the Emperor of Taj built this monument with 22,000 workers. It took 22 years. It's my favorite number. But I think the detail here of craftsmen and artisans and understanding of what execution was. I mean, that little piece there takes about 8 hours to make. Then you take another 30 hours to put it to a table. And you imagine that into an entire building. Okay, so in terms of craft, in terms of execution, in terms of the dedication, I mean, that's a monument of love. Okay, that's creativity and where it stands today in terms of a witness to what can be done. Obviously, kill all, chop all their hands off, so it's not a great ending of the story. But again, but you can understand that in terms of an execution, that's true. Sometimes you have a great idea, and you always get limited by the fact that you go, shit, I don't think I can produce that. I don't think I can do that. So the idea sits in your head, but you must find ways of having a conviction of actually completing your thought and your idea. One of the great pieces, again, Wilson Glaser was 47 years old when he created I Love New York, so I've got some time. Again, it probably took him 30 seconds to write that in the back of a cab. Okay? But in terms of an iconic piece of work, okay, that will never go out of fashion. It's not about digital, it's not about, oh my god, I'm scared, I'm intimidated. The idea is pure thought, pure feeling, okay, expressed. The world sees it forever. I'm sure everyone has seen this piece here. Again, we have this age-old discussion about advertising, design, digital, all the different mediums. But I think when a great piece of work is executed, I think, again, in terms of a brand, I think we have a lot of problems where there's a lot of kind of one-off ideas, but there's not big ideas that kind of have dents in the world. I'm saying what we should do is aim for bigger ideas that actually move people. And here we have a very simple philosophy of a smarter planet. Obviously they've got a brand principle, a brand philosophy, but again, from the execution point of view, how the common man today kind of uses it, the execution, the beauty. And let's actually watch the video of the making of this here. If anyone actually does actually do that, it shows you the craftsman in detail that went into actually executing it. Because sometimes again, that could be done so kind of badly, but it was the absolute detail to do. So you guys off. This was in the NAD. It's an interesting piece, and you look at it and you go, okay, what's the conception about that piece? But I think what is about is actually is that there was an amazing collaboration that happened with music and art. And I think, if you watch movies, you never see one person as a line artist at the end of a movie. There's always scores and scores of people. Yeah, my art. Louder. Louder. Should I scream louder? Talk louder. Hello. Okay, so I think what you're saying here is that in your creative work, sometimes you want to do everything by yourself. You get to a point, you go, I have this idea, I want to execute it, it's mine, it's mine, it's mine. The idea is that there are a lot of specialist people out there that do music, that do illustration, that are great at specific things. The ensemble of putting these people together and that creates something magical. Don't be afraid to use the best. Okay? And what a piece like this looks very static. Bottom line, have a look at the pattern and how it works with the rhythm. Okay, that makes it come alive. It's the fact that so many different mediums are used to illustrate a point. Talk about anti-establishment. Yeah, is it come up? Yeah. Again, it's again, creative people, we have amazing ideas, but we never have sometimes we don't have the balls sometimes to do certain things. And I think here's a living physical manifestation of an idea actually happening. I think what my daughter actually came up with the philosophy here, she actually should have been here today. It would have been the first time to listen to me. I was actually happy she didn't come because I'd be much more nervous. But again, it's in terms of what the philosophy was unlearned. And I think unlearn to relearn. It's a great understanding of where we are today as a society. Okay, so there's a physical space in terms of, there's an amazing different ways of how the idea comes alive. But I think at the core, in terms of, we talked about this thing of making a dent in the universe as an idea. The idea of unlearn. Okay, how can we get it out there in terms of letting people understand there's more to certain things than they already are. Okay, so unlearn to relearn. And we get so conformed to the way we think and how we do things. I think this is the physical manifestation of the fact that unlearn is philosophy. Yes, you can have a drink, is libation and celebration, of course, but I think it is a place where it makes you think. There is a kind of thing where you go, okay, it's cool, it's this, but is there another layer, is there a double click? And I think that's what this place does. This is a second layer of stuff coming through, and again, whoever wants to contribute towards this from a creative point of view, it is a showcase, it's a propaganda, it's an idea of, it is bigger than what we think it is. This is a great place, Bloemfontein. It's not Sandton, it's not Soweto, it's not Johannesburg. There's something quite eclectic, crazy happening in this area. I don't know what it is, but it's something very cool for South Africa. And I think we all play a part in the sense of actually making something bigger than what it is. And I think Johannesburg is a cool city. Right? We've always had this kind of so-called inferior complex of the fact that Cape Town's got these cool places. I believe Joburg's got cooler people, more edgier people. And I think there's so much of so-called visual language, there's so much of so-called material out in the streets of Johannesburg. And the idea is true kind of insights live on our streets. I think Joburg has got enough kind of material out there for us to go out there, capture it, make a dent in the universe. We saying in our passage, I was walking with Shoreditch, and it's quite interesting. In Shoreditch, as a city like Bloemfontein, there's a huge physical expression on the streets. Okay, and people are not scared to actually intrude, to actually go take on the fact that that looked like that. And there's expression, and I think you don't have to be creative to express certain things. I think people appreciate creative things that are out of the ordinary. They want to see things that are different. It's not limited to a creative studio. So I think that people find this, it actually is a smile in their mind. It interrupts their day, and they go, wow, there's something different. I'm sure you all know what Banksy. What is amazing about this artist over here? Should I call him an artist? Should I call him a politician? He is one of those people that basically makes you think. And I think this is the power of creativity in terms of how it can actually move society, move change, and do different things. And we saw exactly what happened in the Arab Spring. A simple little thing can have a vibration of an entire nation. And people are so completely kind of connected today that any thought can be so quickly gone out there. Talk some of our projects and what we've done is, again, a name would be a great idea. I remember meeting this kind of English guy in a lift once. And he said, what do you do? And I said, we do some design stuff. He says, okay, after a few months, he calls me, he says, we're doing this project, and I'd like you to help me out. Where I'm going with this here is like, just keep your options open, how you engage with people, what you say. You'd be surprised of where things come from. He says, listen, we're bringing the gallery lounges from London into South Africa, and I'd like you guys to maybe look at it. We look at the galleries, we're going to recolonize South Africa again, And I think what was nice about here is that, they go, British Airways come in, how do we create a very bold name called Slow? How do you call a country or a service organization slow? It's like quite a difficult thing. But the idea here is when a name, a thought, a philosophy, and everything, is hinged on an idea, it's amazing you can't move people away from it. Because they see an interruption. They see something that's different. And they go, well, an airport's a very busy place. How can you call something slow? In fact, in an airport, you want something that obviously makes you breathe in and calm down. So what started off as an idea in a lift turned out to be a very successful brand. We're very proud of this stuff. And what was interesting about there is the detail of different things. And again, we talk about data in the universe, we talk about an idea. When we all are in the commercial industry, we do work for clients. Okay? As much as we all want to be fine artists, we actually not. Okay? So the idea has got to have kind of economic value. So we've created a great idea here, and again, what's good about a great idea, it can be extended. into another great idea, provided you have a great insight into why it became a good idea in the first place. And I'm sure everyone who's been to the Snow in the City, again, it's just a great little place. It's a beautiful understanding of all the disciplines of design and creativity put into a place. You can't put your finger on one thing. You know, the Coco Chanel said an amazing statement one. She says, when a woman is badly dressed or inappropriately dressed, you notice bad dressing. When she's impeccably dressed, you notice a woman. It's got fucking to do with clothing. So I think what it actually is saying that is that sometimes something must be so beautiful. You know, you can't say the logo was good, the color was good, that's good. It's just that I just love, there's an X factor about it. And we are the orchestrators of that thing. You know? So if you want to know our importance in society, that's basically it.